Hello, everyone. I'm Natalie Kunzman, MD, and we have a very interesting topic today that is described as heavy water. So, what exactly is that? So, deuterium is an isotope of hydrogen and it weighs twice as much. So, when that is in our water, we describe that as heavy water. And because of the heaviness of this deuterium, it doesn't really pass through the ATPase system down at the mitochondrial level in our cells, and it can clog our systems and lower the energy efficiency. So I think you can probably understand how a high deuterium content in our water or heavy water could actually impact our health and longevity. So this can get a little complicated, and I will venture to say that I am not a chemist myself. But if you think about water and it being made of H2O, okay, so that's two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. And then each hydrogen atom has a proton and an electron. However, there are hydrogen isotopes that also will have a neutron. And one of these is this deuterium that I'm talking about. So it is a D2O. And this is what can actually make the molecules heavier. So when you're in our mitochondria, it'll function like a spinning wheel that catalyzes ATP and converts it into ADP and creates some phosphase. And the slower that rotation is of this spinning wheel, the more you would have fatigue, cellular dysfunction, and aging. So we don't necessarily want to have all this heavy water that we are taking in. But there is naturally occurring deuterium or heavy water that is essential for some normal growth of the cell. So it's actually a balance that is needed. So it has, we are now trying to create what is called deuterium depleted water. In other words, so that it is low in deuterium, so that the water is actually lighter. And if we have less of this deuterium in our water sources, it has found to have anti-cancer benefits. We also realize that depleting this D2O can delay prostate cancer development. And then, of course, there are some other related issues that will revolve around better mitochondrial function. And again, when we talk about health and wellness and the functional approach to this, a lot of us know that we need to get more sleep and we need to eat better. But a lot of us haven't even really considered the water that we are ingesting and the water that we are made up of. And now that we have a lot more information regarding this deuterium and water sources, we can actually do something about it and make sure that we have good water that we are ingesting. So when we are talking about deuterium depleted water, it can actually help our body's antioxidant system by reducing free radical buildup. And of course, it can help us with our cognitive capabilities, our exercise performance, and our well-being. Now, water, or we should say heavy water, or water that's high in deuterium, can be found in oceans and lakes and rivers and streams. And low deuterium water or light water can be created. So if we have a reverse osmosis filtration system, structured water from frozen water, or by drinking glacial water. Now, you can also remove some of this deuterium by sweating, urinating, breathing, or depleting it through fatty oxidation. Now, that's interesting. So, we can actually do this within our body system with fatty oxidation. However, the older we get, the less efficient this process becomes. Now, there are foods that can actually concentrate more of these heavy hydrogen atoms in the body. So there are some foods that will store this deuterium more so than others. So we are talking about, for instance, fruits, starches, grains, legumes, and some of the high carbohydrate plants are very rich in this deuterium because the plants will store deuterium in their sugar sources. So one of the theories is you should only be consuming fruit seasonally that's made from your own environment. Now, here we go again. Processed foods such as bread, sugar, cookies, trans fatty acids are also high in deuterium. Any genetically modified foods that are in our agriculture, such as the wheat, corn, soy, and tomatoes, may be high in deuterium as well. Be careful of the supplements and meal replacements. They could be high in deuterium or this heavy water because of the way they've been processed. Now, here we go again. Grain-fed animals such as your beef, pork, chickens, they will be higher in deuterium and this higher water as well. Old food could be higher in the deuterium than younger food. Now, again, be careful of combining these high carb foods and deuterium rich foods and a lot of sugars because it just simply overwhelms our system, which will compound and retain and hold on to this heavy water in our system. Now, of course, you'll want to know what deuterium depleted foods exist, and again, how to lighten up the water, again, to improve our mitochondrial health. So let's focus on green plants and vegetables. So the chlorophyll and the chloroplast in these green vegetables will deplete deuterium, and things like broccoli, kale, and spinach are super beneficial. The nuts and seeds are also deuterium depleted or deuterium low because of their low sugar but high fat content. If you have the grass-fed animals, they will be depleted in deuterium because they are eating deuterium depleted foods. Now, fish and eggs can be low in deuterium because of the healthy fats. Cold water fishes are lower in deuterium. Again, animal fats such as the natural ones, natural animal fats such as tallow, lard, ghee, butter, are very low in deuterium because the predominant hydrogen bonds are low deuterium in their composition. Also, healthy fats in the coconut oil, avocado, and olives are very good, again, because of the low sugar and the high fat content. So this is a different way of looking at good foods versus poor foods, not even so much as it is talking about some of the mineral and nutrition content, but now we have to concern ourselves about the water content that is within these foods, because we can have good water in our systems and we can have heavy or poor water in our systems. So you may ask about, do ketogenic diets help? Does fasting help with this heavy water? So we have been noticing that fasting can protect our healthy cells against some of the chemos and showing potential for future treatments. And extended fasting and dry fasting, during which your body will be producing a lot of deuterium depleted water, is beneficial. So we are able to process and convert and change some of our water stores into a light water with the fasting state. Again, why do we even care? We care because the mitochondria, which is down at the cellular level within each cell, are our battery packs that will help us recharge our cells, rejuvenate our cells, create optimal energy production of our cells. And these mitochondria, especially when dysfunctional, is at the core of a lot of our medical conditions and the reasons behind some of us have some of the chronic illnesses that we do. Okay, I hope this enlightened you to what seems to be a newer topic of how to think about our water and keeping it light, which is optimal for our energy production, and trying to avoid the heavy water or the deuterium-laden water in our systems. Okay, everybody. I'm Natalie Kunzman, MD. Subscribe to my channel below. And until we meet again, be well.